Got Your Back Podstream is brought to you by Kinprint. For all your company's promotional needs, they do it all. Apparel, promotional products using the highest quality brands. They do logo design, signage, and printing. Kinprint will promote your brand with excellence. Visit kinprint.ca. Well, that's a little bit more like it. Oilers with a 4-2 win in a huge divisional matchup against the Los Angeles Kings. Was it pretty? Nah. Showed a lot of patience in tonight's game. Jason Strudwick, Rob Brown, and Zuby. All part of the pod tonight to break it down. As always, Got Your Back YEG is proudly presented by our title sponsor, Sherwood Buick GMC. You know they've got trucks in stock, or they can get them for you in short order. The staff is fantastic. The process is streamlined. And when you mention that Got Your Back sent you, you'll not only receive specialized pricing as a bonus, you'll also get 3 free ultimate detail packages. That's on a new or a used vehicle. So go see Phil and the crew in Sherwood Park or online, www.gmcpod.com. Coming at you from our long shot studio out here in the park. All game days are all-day happy hour specials. $5 long shots lager. Can't beat that. $5 for long shots lager on a game day over at Long Shots. Rob Brown is making the trek home and is going to join us from his home studio as soon as he's available. So we'll get to him in a couple of minutes. But for now, we got Shoveling Struddy. How'd it go out on those driveways, Struddy? Were you the hero of the neighborhood today?
Oh, no, I'm not going to pretend I'm a hero. I did my own. I did do a little bit of, between two properties, myself, my neighbor. I like just to try to keep it clean so that people can park there.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not a hero. I do as little as I can for my neighbors.
So you don't go snowblower, right? Sorry, I'm fixing my lights here as we're chatting. You don't go snowblower, do you?
I would like to get a snowblower. I think it might be neat to have one to kind of just kind of play, right? You just go around and blow snow all over the place. But no, I don't. What about you?
No, I wish. Mine broke down last year or something like that, and I haven't had it repaired yet. So I was up and at it early this morning. And you know what? For someone with a back like me, buddy, trying to get out of bed and then hopping into the shoveling game can be a little bit rough. So it's okay. I got a quick little stretchy in before, though. Stretched the hammies a little. Was on the floor having a coffee, stretching so I could go out and safely shovel. How old am I?
Yeah. Well, at least it wasn't heavy snow. It's pretty light. That's March snow is much different than a dry February one.
Yeah, no, 100%. Okay, Brownie will be joining us here shortly, so we'll get to our breakdown. I think by the time we're deep into it, he will probably be available. Oh, there he is, Brownie.
Oh, it changed
Hi,
everything.
guys.
How are you doing, buds?
I'm doing fantastic.
Good. I like this post game with you actually on camera. I took a little while to get home tonight, so we had time to wait for you.
Well, I had to go in between some of those big tractor things that are clearing the road, so some of them aren't very happy with me as I was dodging them on the way home, but we made it safely.
Now, did you actually do your own snow today, or did you just wait inside looking out your window until your neighbor came out and saved your ass? My
neighbor's in Portugal, so
no.
I went out, and me and one neighbor across the street who has a snowblower, we did 5 or 6 driveways today. We took care of the neighborhood, so it was a lot of work. That was really, really thick snow. There was a lot of snow.
Struddy, were you being sarcastic when you said good thing it wasn't too heavy?
No, I didn't think it was heavy.
It wasn't heavy. It was just
pretty dry snow. No, I mean, listen, I'm not a snow expert. I don't run a Slurpee machine, but it was pretty light.
That's funny because literally, Brownie, like 2 minutes ago before you got on, Strud was like, "Yeah, the snow wasn't very heavy, so it was no big deal." And you're like, "That was really heavy snow."
It was heavy. Well, it was so high. Like it was like you had to take off the top, and then you had to go down to the second layer, and then push the third layer. It was a lot of snow.
Yeah,
I'm not big and strong like Struddy.
Well, no, it's just a shovel. You're probably using the wrong type of shovel, right?
Feel free to mix in some basic dumbbell curls, maybe some dips now.
Oh my God. Brownie. I was at the gym today and the guy beside me were both doing triceps. I honestly didn't know weights came as big as this guy's. Like seriously, He had weights, like his biceps were the size of my thighs, like both of them. and
Yeah.
he's using weights. I've never seen that size. I think he got them from a special room because I can't find those, which is
Brownie,
good because I can't lift those.
let's be honest, buddy. At your age, if you're working on your triceps, you're probably not doing a very good workout.
It's my favorite one. I feel
Hey,
really strong and then I throw the weight away as I finish. I'm like,
You know what
yeah.
else? You know, also
What's
does
your
the
go-to?
tricep? Push-ups. Push-ups do the tricep. You can skip it all by doing 100 push-ups. And you use the
No,
same.
the chicks dig it when I pull the big 30 pounders
Oh,
off
God.
the bar there. It's
Yeah.
like, they're like, whoa, look at those.
So what's your go-to dumbbell tricep maneuver that you do the over the head, like the
Yeah, over the
lat
head.
pull
Yep.
deal? Oh, the two-handed over the head.
Oh, you do two. Well, yeah, one. I mean, I might not be able to pull it all the way up, so I need both hands.
Sounds like it's a very functional workout. Just
Yeah.
pure triceps.
It's not. That's just one of my 5 exercises, Struds. And then I do
What are the other 4?
I do bench press, I do
Okay,
shoulder press, I do rows, I do biceps, I do triceps.
Right.
After I ride the bike, and then I do crunches.
Oh boy.
That's
Struds,
not
your
bad for an
thoughts
old
on that,
person. Like
on that
seriously.
regimen?
Yeah, sounds good,
Pardon?
man. I mean, I guess you guys probably don't have squat machines in St. Albert. Is that
I don't need to do squats. I got a big ass as it is. What do I
You
need
do need
squats
to.
for? For what?
You're working cosmetic muscles when you actually need to have your
I'm
stability,
losing
your energy.
weight. I'm getting in shape, Struds. I think you should be proud of me.
I'm always proud of you, but
Oh, thanks. I
question your-
appreciate that.
Can you
Although
tell
I
me
got to
what-
be honest today, when I was doing the bench press, I started giggling, thinking about you at the swimming pool. That just came in my head. And as I'm doing it, I start giggling. And then I'm like, I'm going to drop it on myself thinking of Struddy swimming.
Old swimming. Yeah, I
That
got
was
a
your
few
best.
times.
That was your best. What's it called again? Struddy's thing? Struddy's.
There's been a lot of
The
good
World
ones.
of Struddy. That's the best one all year long. That was
There's
my
been a
favorite.
lot.
You
of
like
gold
that one,
medals.
hey?
I could not stop laughing. Seriously. Today I was laughing by myself.
For those who missed it, Struddy got out of the swimming pool the other day, walked by the lifeguard, and he was like, "Hey, we have lessons here, you know."
Humbling.
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 We got a hockey game to break down. So as much as I'd love to continue this chirp fest, let's get to the breakdown brought to you by Mr. Dirk, the iconic men's clothing store in Edmonton, founded in 1939. It's just off White Avenue and 102nd Street. They've got everything you need for all different aspects of your wardrobe. So if you want some casual wear, they can help you out with that, right? Jeans and pants and shirts and shoes. Or they got some fantastic high-end stuff as well. If you want to elevate your wardrobe for work, whether it's business casual or more formal, Dirk's can, or Mr. Dirk definitely has you squared away. Lots of great suits, dress shoes, belts, pants, the whole bit. I adorn myself in Mr. Dirk each day that I go to work. So check them out at mrdirk.com. Here's a question I have for you, Rob Brown. I will ask you this. With the style that the LA Kings play, can they make you look like you're playing worse than you actually are? Or were the Oilers, again, really bad in the first period, just in terms of energy level and all that? Or was that the LA Kings, LA Kinging them?
I think it's the Oilers trying to play better defensive hockey. I think they just didn't want to give up the grade A scoring chances. So they played a little more conservative. I mean, LA is a good team, and there was push and shove, but the LA Kings weren't getting the chances or the looks that we saw with the Flames the other night. So I thought the Oilers, they played a better first. It was low event. I do believe the Kings were the better of the two teams in the first period, but just slightly. And if it wasn't for a bonehead play by Dubois, the Kings would be leading after the first period. But I thought that it was just a much better low event game for the Oilers tonight.
Yeah, it's interesting to bring that up because I do think that they want to play that low event hockey defensively. They really want to have it. They don't want to give up a ton of chances. And you mentioned the play by Dubois, like there was nothing really happening there, and all of a sudden, bang!
Yeah,
it's a goal against, and that is the stuff that the Kings are known not to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't want to play that way, whether it was Todd or now their new coach. And I think the Oilers really want to kind of play that way. They want to make the other team have to make a good play and beat them. So, I think part of that is that maybe it looks a little less energetic than maybe we've become accustomed to over the last couple of years, where it was just trading chances, and that's exciting to watch for fans. I don't personally like that because I think it's very chaotic, and I think you're leaving up to chance. Do you score 2 or do I score 3 or what happens? But I think that it kind of has to be that way for the Oilers if they want to, because we've seen the other way. It hasn't worked for a Stanley Cup. So now I think they've decided this is the way. And this resembled more the team that I thought they did when they went on that big run, rather than we've seen the last, what is it, Shaugger, last 9 or 10 games.
Yeah, I was really paying attention to the way they started this game, because they've really been harping on their first period. So I was really dialed in that first period, and I was watching, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, what am I seeing here? So in my notes, my digital notes that I do an amazing job of keeping, the red, by the way, is bad. The blue is good, as you can see that there. But one of the notes I have is sluggish start. Nobody's hitting anyone. But I'm not sure if, because it's such a chess match, if it's fair to be hard on them, because it's such a positional chess match. You got to be so careful about the way you're playing it, especially in the neutral zone. I'm not sure if they didn't want to I don't know. It felt like they weren't forechecking that hard, and they didn't come out with a ton of energy. A bad mistake there, blown coverage in front of the net. So I kind of felt like, I'm not sure why they're coming out with another first period like this, but then they steadied it, Struds, and a pretty big difference, I would say. After the first period, I thought that goal at the end of the first did a lot to help them out. And I thought they looked a lot more like the team that had won a bunch of games there for the last 40. Is that fair?
Yeah. And I think that yes, 100% that's fair. Especially after that penalty kill. Like, that penalty kill was a big moment of the game. I really think that power play and penalty kill can give and take energy away from teams. And I thought that really gave the Oilers a lot of energy. And I think it maybe just undermined the Kings' game plan of what they're trying to accomplish. But that penalty kill, I don't think we can underestimate what the impact it had on the game, Brownie. It was huge, huge moment.
Well, we know the LA Kings are a good defensive team, and they have a chance on an extended power play with a 5-on-3 and then back-to-back power plays to not only to take a 1-goal or a 2-goal or possibly a 3-goal lead. They could have made it 3-1 or 4-1 there. And the kill, it starts, first of all, Nugent Hopkins is sent out to take the draw. It's not on his strong side. So I'm like, okay, that's an odd player to be put on the ice. He'd be 3rd or 4th on my list. But the coaching staff, Knobloch talked about it. They looked. He was on fire. He was 9-1 after the second period. They put the right guy out. He wins the draw. That more or less ate up the 5-on-3.
Yeah.
And then their penalty kill, they got 2 big saves. Skinner made a huge save on Kempe. Then they lose the battle. Kempe gets it out to Spence. He comes in and another huge save by Skinner. Yeah. Either one of those goes in. It's 3-1. And all of a sudden the Oilers are like, here we go again. The fans start getting down on them. There'd been the big mistake by Bouchard, and it's a long road back. But as you said, Struds, a penalty kill gave them life, and it took some away from the LA Kings, because all of a sudden they knew it was a missed opportunity, and they also knew that the next penalty was going to go against them, and they were going to have to face the Oilers' power play.
I just can't believe that Skinner had enough energy to even be awake in the crease. I mean, how he's not just sleeping like 23 hours a day with all these games he's playing.
No, I made a note as well, and I put my bad ones in blue and my good ones in red on my own notes.
Good.
I think that sequence there, I think that might be let's look back on this in 5 games. Is that the thing that stabilizes Stuart Skinner? Because the Kempe, he was right out on top of the crease. He looked strong. He looked poised. And, we'd seen some goals recently where maybe he was backing in a little bit and kind of, go back to Arizona, maybe a bit unfair, but they were, shooting it past him. And Kempe is probably one of the most dangerous shooters in space in the league. So, yeah, I think that may be a really important stretch there. That penalty kill for Skinner's mental state moving forward.
Ryan Smith's nose chimes in the Weiss Johnson YouTube mentions and asks, do you put Skinner in again against the Blues, Struds?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
get him back in there?
Yeah, he's going back in.
And then you got the Kraken in Pittsburgh back-to-back, so then you give Pickard one of the 2 back-to-backs coming up.
Yep, that seems fair.
Yeah, probably.
Skinner look good.
Yeah, I think I'd probably put Pickard in against Pittsburgh.
That's not how you say it, Struds.
Pittsburgh.
That's,
my bad.
You said it wrong, Jason.
Yeah.
That's my home team, Jason. That's not very nice.
Yeah. We have an alumni on the pod, and Sidney Crosby's currently on the team, Struds. Blasphemy on a couple of fronts. Let's get to the Weiss Johnson soundbox. Want to hear from Evan Bouchard. The cold is back, right? So is the snow. Holy snap. There's lots of winter ahead, so get that garage heated up and enjoy the luxury of a nice, warm vehicle that you can slide right into. They do such a great job, great customer service. I've got the AC and the garage heater from them at the Rashog House here. Visit weiss-johnson.com. Jingle. So Evan Bouchard has the big gaff, and we can kind of break that one down after the fact, but bounces back, sheds it, puts it on a shelf, and comes back, finds a Bouch bomb that ends up being a massive, massive goal. Here's Evan Bouchard postgame.
I don't have a Bouchard clip. I have Ekholm about Bouchard.
Oh, Evan Bouchard. Okay, Matthias Ekholm on his D partner, Evan Bouchard.
I honestly
Probably
don't think
my
he
fault.
is hard on himself, and I don't think he should be either because he does all these plays, and he more often than not, he is on the scale of giving us the good stuff. There's going to be hiccups, and there's going to be some reads where it doesn't pan out, but I think he's been really good at weighing those situations, and obviously when they happen, just put them in your backpack, try to learn from them, but don't make them affect the way you play, because if they do, and I've played with some high-end offensive defensemen, and I know if you start getting down on yourself, you're going to take yourself out of the game, and he didn't. He came back, and he got us that big goal. So I think he's had an awesome year, and he's a great player.
And no worries, Zuby. I think that's my fault. I forgot to send that note asking for that clip. But Bouchard basically admitted that maybe earlier in his career, that a mistake like that might have been a little harder to bounce back from. Maybe he would have let it kind of rattle him a little bit, but I thought he did a good job of just kind of steadying his game. Struddy, how big a mistake was that? Yeah. But then how impressed were you with what he did at the end?
Yeah, so let's break down the mistake. My phone blew up when that happened. So this play was very similar to what Noah Hannafin did to Evan Bouchard. It was D on D again, D on D violence. So if you remember against Calgary, Bouchard was trying to get over the blue line, and Noah Hannafin kind of surfed over. He was in the middle of the ice, then kind of surfed over, poked the puck off, and then boom, they're gone the other way. So tonight, I think Bouchard, he saw that play and said, maybe I can do that. And the problem was that Evan, there was kind of like a couple regroups, and he got up. But when he got up, he was on the dot line or outside the dot line. So all of a sudden, the King player looks up and is like, oh my God, this guy is outside the dot line. And then to compound the problem, Evan Bouchard's toes were facing the wall. So, as an offensive
on that.
running, so let's keep an eye on it here. Oh, there'll be a little delay. We'll be back live all of a sudden. Okay, here, we're live again.
Up and running again?
Yeah.
Okay. You can kill the music, Zuby, and we'll just pick up where we left off. Hey, it's the joy of live streaming, everybody. Sometimes we have technical issues, and we got to just do the best we can. So what I'm going to do right now is just get to our next segment. That'll make a nice clean edit for you, Zuby, when you want to put the podcast feed together. All right, time now for our You Can Use Services Relentless Player of the Game. They're a local charity that helps vulnerable youth find employment. Their 14th annual Comedy Nights fundraiser coming up in March. They've got 6 shows, tons of laughs. It's a great way to support helping youth right here in our community. They still got tickets available. Got Your Back's going to be there on the 20th. So check out the tickets at youcancomedy.ca. Mention Got Your Back sent you, and you will get 20% off. Struddy, who gets the nod tonight, buddy?
Yeah, going a little bit off the board tonight. I'm going with Warren Fogle.
Like it.
I thought he had a couple of really nice moments.
Okay.
Hard on the forecheck a couple times that turned to good scoring chances for his line mates. And for that's something I think that we need to, if you're the Oilers, you want to encourage that type of behavior from big number 37, Brownie.
I thought he was good. Actually, we had a couple callers on our show tonight say that they really liked Fogel's game. And if the Oilers are going to make noise in the playoffs, they can't do it with just one line. Yeah. And they need guys to step up. And I thought Warren Fogle, who's had a nice year, it'll be interesting. This is one of our callers asked tonight. Will he be here on March 9th? He's one of the guys whose name has been bandied around because of his contract, and if they have to bring someone in. And I think it'd be a shame because I think Warren Fogle has become everything they hoped that he was going to become when they made the trade for him.
Steve Taylor says, coming back strong like an Oilers third period. Slow start to the pod, just like the Oilers' slow start versus Calgary. What else we got? Voyager says, should be free hats for all of us that stuck around. Yeah, thanks, Voyager. That would be a little bit expensive, but maybe we're going to give away a hat a little bit later on in the show. So reminder that Rob Brown's appearances are brought to you by Kin Print, helping you find creative ways to promote your brand, high-quality apparel with top-of-the-line brands. You got to check them out at kinprint.ca. Couple more things we got to square away on the stream here, so a quick break and takeaways. Let's talk about Leon Draisaitl. Did you hear Connor McDavid being funny earlier on today? That and more still ahead. Say goodbye to unruly hair and hello to a smooth and silky back in minutes with Backscape. Shave your back solo with no mess with Backscape's water-resistant long handle and patented 6-blade design, leaving you with a no-mess shaving experience all in less than 5 minutes. Shop now for 40% off select kits just for you, our Got Your Back listeners, and make 2024 your year to elevate your grooming routine.
Winter is upon us, so why not make the best of it? Marmot Basin Ski Resort is where it's at. Ski half price every day, no blackout periods. Pick up your escape card for $99 and make winter fun more affordable. Half the price, all the powder. Get yours at www.skimarmot.com.
Time now for takeaways brought to you by Redefined Health. From chiropractic and massage care treatments to acupuncture, soft tissue therapy, nutrition, even an on-site registered psychologist, Redefined Health is here to help you get well and stay healthy for a lifetime. Go see Dr. Tyler Fix. Check him out online at redefinedhealth.com. We have talked a lot about Leon Draisaitl the last couple of days, gentlemen, whether it be body language, different things, bad penalties, such and such. That third period tonight, I thought, was excellent from Leon Draisaitl, Brownie. He put his head down. He kept his legs moving. Was good on the back check. Looked like he really wanted that game. And I feel like that's more the Leon Draisaitl that's going to push this thing in the right direction.
It's amazing how loud a game he can play by being quiet. And he just was focused. There were 3 or 4 times tonight where his back check, the back pressure, disrupted an LA King chance, stole the puck. There was a shift in I think it would be in the second period where he took an extra few steps to run Doughty before he went to the bench.
Mhm.
He was excellent in this hockey game. He was very, very good. And nice goal. I mean, that's a goal scorer's goal. Knew exactly how to put his stick and just let the puck touch it and change direction. So yeah, Leon Draisaitl, there's been a lot of talk. And I don't know Leon, and you know him way better than both Struds and I. I don't think he likes the attention when there's a lot of talk about him. I think he just likes going about playing his game and doing what he does best. So I think today he just played a quiet game verbally, just quiet demonstratively, body language wise, but a loud game with the way he played both on the forecheck and on the back check.
I think that the last game, that penalty, I think that would really have kind of it's a reset for any player. Because as I mentioned, that's a really hard penalty to take in a big night, and you got to skate back on Saturday night hockey. It's not fun. So I think that really was a reset for him. But the moments I really liked where he just decided, I'm going to skate around Drew Doughty. I'm going to drive the net here hard. And I found he was moving his feet a lot more with the puck. You know, I think when Leon is less effective, he's more standing still with the puck. And I think today he was really skating with some speed and tempo, backing D-man off. So yeah, he was good and strong and big all over the ice. And I think they will want more games like that out of him. But I think he'll also think that was a pretty good game by me. I gotta bring that more to my game.
Well, how about the strength though? The one that you're talking about when he went around Doughty and he's holding Doughty with his left hand, one hand on the stick, and he got that puck about 3 feet in the air.
I know.
Just one-handed backhand. That is strength. Like that is like real man strength. That to get that good a scoring chance when you've got the puck way out, holding it with one hand on the stick, and his hand is on the very, very top of it to be able to get that kind of leverage. Leon was good tonight.
Yeah, and I think Big Save Dave too, the goalie for the Kings. I thought he was lucky tonight. You know, I think he had some lucky moments, pucks trickling through him. I think that this game, the score wasn't maybe it could have been a little bit more spread out. You could have been at a 5-2 situation. I really thought that he had, you just can tell when a goalie's not sure and they're kind of squeezing, they're looking around them. And I don't know, I think as a D-man, I would have been a little bit nervous to see that guy behind me tonight.
Well, really, is the LA Kings goaltending good enough?
Well, it's cheap. It's definitely cheap.
It is cheap, but is it good enough? I mean, it's a couple of cast-offs they have in net for a team that believes they've got the players out in front to win a Stanley Cup.
There was one play from Leon Draisaitl I really liked tonight, guys. It was, I can't remember which Kings forward it was, but he grabbed the puck and he headed up ice and he was staring at 2 Oiler defensemen. So there were already 2 Oiler defensemen back. Leon Draisaitl got on his horse. He back-checked full speed. Right. And he ended up being the one to break up the play from the forward who was 1-on-2. That right there, I saw that and I went, okay, that's a guy who's clearly trying to do things the right way tonight. That looked like kind of playoff Leon Draisaitl, and I was impressed with that. That, to me, was a signal that he was really thinking it on a deeper level and trying to make sure he was doing the right things. How awesome was it that on the day where, as media this morning, we all gathered with Connor McDavid and started asking him about, the fact that he hasn't been scoring a lot of goals lately, right? Like we sort of put him on the hot seat, asked him a few questions today. And on that same day, in the first period of that game, he gets the puck in the most prime shooting position you can get in the entire building, and he dishes it off to Zach Hyman. Guys, I'm telling you, everybody on media row, everybody behind us, and that's the team, right? Everybody went, shoot! Oh, that's what everybody did. The whole building was yelling at him to shoot, and then everyone went, oh, maybe we should just let Connor do what he wants to do, Struds.
Yes, I hear you, and it did work out well there. But again, let's consider the goaltender in the pipes there. Big Save Dave. I love that name, by the way. I think that's got to be a shot. You work so hard to get in that position. So let's say they're playing Dallas, and that's Ottinger in the pipes, and that's Heiskanen you're playing against. How many times are you allowed to get into that spot? And how many times does that shot go in, Brownie, from Hyman on the wing?
You see, I'm going to disagree with both of you. I think Connor McDavid's the best in the world, and I think he finds what he believes is the best possible play. And I think at that moment, everyone, as you said, everyone in the world thought he was shooting. He gives it to Hyman. Hyman has the entire empty net to shoot into. So to me, when I will never argue with a play with Connor and Leon. They're the two best players in the world. They have the two highest IQ in the National Hockey League. If they feel that's the better play, I'm going to go with it because I'm in the press box. I am sitting 1,000 miles away. He's on the ice. He leads the league every year. He's an MVP. If he decides that, you know what, I see Hyman as the better option here, I'm 100% behind Connor McDavid on that one.
What about the fact that he hadn't scored in 10 games?
He doesn't care.
Through a stretch where, the team has been a little bit up and down. I mean, he got 64 last year, Brownie, because he decided to think a little bit more like a shooter. And this year he's gone completely the other way with it. So I mean, I get what you're saying, but there's no way you can help your team more than by scoring goals. Wouldn't you suggest that if he thought a little more that way, that wouldn't be a bad thing?
He's averaging 2.5 points a game. Like, how much more do you want him to help the team offensively? Like, it doesn't get like he's on pace. That's like a 300 point or 200 point season. That's pretty good. So yeah, no. If he wants to pass the puck, because that guy's in a better spot, pass the puck. Maybe he felt Hyman had a better chance. Maybe he's looking at the goalie like, I don't really see nothing here, but I know Hyman will. He'll see the entire empty net. So to me, I'm 100%. If Connor McDavid decides this is the better play, I'm on Connor's side.
I don't know, Struddy. What do you think, man?
I just agree. I think you get into those shooting. You think in the playoffs, you get into those shooting areas, how hard it was. Think about Vegas last year, how hard it was to get into that shooting area and to have a clean shot like that. I
love the fact that 9 career NHL goals combined are deciding what Connor McDavid should do when he has the puck.
Well, but I'm just going off of what I saw last year in the playoffs against Vegas, right? And that's you're trying to prepare yourself for that. How many times have we heard the guys talk about that? And you get in that shooting spot, and it's not just that play. There's been and I think at times this team is guilty of moving from a good shooting spot to a less desirable shooting spot.
Okay, and this is different. You're saying the team. I agree. If it's McLeod has it, if Fogle has it, if Kane has it, if Hyman has it, that's different. But when Connor McDavid has it, he can do whatever he wants because his decisions 99.9% of the times are the right ones. And the people that we second guess, when we second guess them, usually we're in the wrong.
I like it. You can tell who is the skill guy here on the podcast, hey? Yeah, I mean, by that logic, Brownie, then, we can't second guess a goaltender for a decision to come out and play a puck. We can't second guess, you know what I mean? Like
you're second guessing the best player in the world right now. The best player in the world.
It's not second guessing. It's just, listen, there are trends. We evaluate trends in his game. Last year, he decided, I'm going to see how many goals I can score. He went out and got 64, was the best goal scorer in the world. Right?
And there's other years where
he's been
deciding to be the best playmaker now. And he's averaging 2.5 points a game. That's good. Like, so now you want him to get 2 goals and 2.5 assists. We're not happy unless he's getting 5 points now.
No, not at all. I want him. I want the team to be playoff ready. That's what I'm thinking. That's where my head's at.
And I now you're questioning whether Connor's going to be playoff ready. Again, Connor McDavid actually gets better in the playoffs. I have no worries about him.
Yeah. Well, you got all right. Well, we'll agree to disagree here because I against Vegas, I saw a group of players that were unable to get to the inside of the ice to score.
Again, you're saying group of players. I'm talking one player.
I know, but
I'm talking one player here.
But he does lead the way a little, Brownie. Like you set the tone, right? If you want to be a team that takes advantage of your best opportunities, if the message is get it on net when you're in the prime scoring areas,
but you're thinking Connor was the best opportunity there. I don't think he was. Hyman was. He had the wide open net.
All right, love it. It's a great debate. By the way, McDavid was pretty funny today when he addressed the media. Let's get back to the Weiss Johnson sound box. Here's McDavid when he was asked about, no goals in 9 games at that time. Now it's 10 games. Here he is.
I've decided I'm just going to see how many assists I can get. So that's the focus. I'm not going to shoot the puck anymore. I'm not going to score any more goals. So, obviously, of course, I want to score, want to produce. I want to help this team any way I can. And scoring goals is part of that.
And scoring goals is part of that. He had another funny moment, actually. While he was talking to us today, he had a water bottle and he was taking sips in between questions, and he fumbled the cap and it fell on the floor. And I said, "You're dropping stuff all over the place. Are you worried about your hands at all? He said, yeah, I'm losing all of my skills. So he was in a jovial mood about it today, and a hell of a nice play. Brownie, I completely understand and respect what you're saying. Like he does. He makes the right decision so often, and he's piled up points for so long. It's just interesting to me that a player can adjust his mindset and become one of the best goal scorers in the game. And then all of a sudden he's not in that mindset anymore. And you just can't help but wonder if big picture, it would be better if he were thinking more like a goal scoring forward like he was last year. And I think that's fair analysis, that might be long-term more what the team needs from McDavid to have success in the playoffs, to be playing with that goal scorer's instinct. That would be the analysis. You disagree?
Yeah, I disagree.
All right. Great segment, guys. Love the debate. When we come back, everybody's favorite segment, Struddy's World. Stay with us. The Edmonton Sport and Social Club's spring season is set to go in May, and registration is just around the corner. Team up with your pals to play in slow pitch, beach volleyball, outdoor soccer, ultimate frisbee, and even cornhole leagues to keep the spring months full of excitement. Spring leagues begin in May. Registration opens on February 8th. Visit edmontonsportsclub.com for more details.
If you own or operate a business, you know the value of a great employee. Just ask Shaugger. Pathfind is here to help you find your next star player to help take your business to the next level. Pathfind can help with recruitment, career transition, leadership coaching. They truly have your whole team covered. Building you a championship caliber roster. Find your team's path forward at pathfind.ca. When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy.
Gotta look good.
12:19 a.m. Oh, Brownie. Nice cheerleading from Brownie. Go Struddy, says the sign. We got a Struddy's World After Dark. I love it. Brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products, locations in Calgary and Edmonton. If you're a contracting business or a contractor, let DLR help you add vinyl fence to your product line. See why they've been going strong since 2005. Reliable, unmatched service with high-quality North American-made products. Visit dlrvinylproducts.ca. Struds?
I always like seeing which players are put out at the end of the game to protect the lead. And scoring is kind of, if you're the other way, it's pretty clear, but to protect the lead. And the second last shift tonight, they had Connor McDavid's line with Hyman and Draisaitl. And then the next three guys out. In my head, I kind of had it kind of worked out. And all of a sudden, Connor Brown comes out with Ryan, and I believe it was Janmark. Although I'm second guessing myself in Janmark. But anyways, that's it. It was not the line you thought it would be, or I thought it was going to be. And I love the trust that shows in those three players and building those guys up and finding a moment for them to have a really important second on the ice or a minute or whatever to try to protect the lead, to try to make the right choices. I think that empowers them. So again, it was a top line, then it was arguably the third, fourth line, and two guys that didn't get out there that normally do were Nugent Hopkins and Kane. So I don't want to read too much who wasn't on, but I think who was on the ice, I think is really interesting, guys. Because considering I don't think that would have been the group that I might have put out there in that moment.
Mm-hmm. Did we grab the
point? Sorry.
No, go ahead, Brownie.
I think there's one main reason that they were doing it. I think they're trying to get Connor Brown a goal. I think there's an empty net. You got a 2-goal lead, so it's safe. You can put your third line or fourth line out there. You've got a centerman you trust in Derek Ryan. But to me, it was Ryan McLeod. That's who it was, not Janmark. It was Ryan McLeod. Who was
right. That's right.
He iced it. He iced it. So I honestly believe that Chris Knobloch said, "Here's an opportunity." I gave my first line a chance to get their cookie, their free point. They didn't. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to see if I can get Connor Brown a goal. So I think that was a great move by Chris Knobloch. Again, also, as you said, Struddy, empowering guys that know. I mean, those three are normally sitting on the bench cheering at that point.
Right.
And you know what it's like, and I know what it's like when you're a depth player and the coach gives you a little bit of trust. oh my, you're excited. Like that's a pat on the back. But I do think a big part of it was they wanted Connor Brown out there to try and get his first goal of the season.
Struddy, Zuby, did we pull Chris Knobloch? I asked him about his decisions personnel-wise in the last minute or so of the game.
Yeah, we got it.
All right, roll it.
Ryan definitely tonight taking the face-offs. He was dynamite all night, won a lot of big face-offs. I believe 1-1 on the PK, 5-on-3. But our number said that he was our best draw man, so he was going to be doing that.
Yeah, makes sense. And you know what? Got to be able to defend a lead, and you got to have players that are confident. You can throw them out there, top 6, bottom 6, and they did a good job with that, Struds. I think the way they defended this lead, I thought that's the winning streak, Oilers, the way they defended that lead.
And it was pretty calm. Like there wasn't, there was maybe one or two excitable moments there in the last stretch, but for the most part, it's pretty calm. And that is just playing the right way, keeping the puck down in the other zone. Just making those simple plays. And it sounds easy to do, but the problem is you want to be a hero and do extra. You don't have to. Just get the puck in their zone and try to hold on to it down there as long as you can. So yeah, I think it's really cool to see who was out there the last minute when they were trying to protect the lead with the goalie pulled. And I know it was a 2-goal lead, but still a lead's a lead.
Yeah. Another thing too, that I saw in the third period that I don't remember the last time I saw it. The Oilers had 2 power plays. And both times their first unit came off after 1 minute without whistles. I wonder, I know that the Knobloch talked about frustration and some negativity have creeped in. I wonder if there was a team talk about, okay, you know what?
Yeah.
If we're going to be a team, let's be a team.
Good point.
And part of being a team is sharing the ice. And both times, Connor and Leon at 1 minute mark, they changed. And that's something that we don't see very often. And that does mean a lot. I've been on second power play units. It's huge when all of a sudden they come off and you get a little bit of time on it as well. So I think that goes a long way to becoming a better team as well.
That was Struddy's World, brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products. As we say good evening to Rob Brown, and thank you for your contributions. I ask you, Struds, how many times do you think Brownie looked back at his assistant coach and said, "Hey, you just tell us who's supposed to go on the ice. We'll worry about scoring, bud."
In junior, he said it a lot.
I used to tell Hitch, shut up, Hitch. Just let me get on the ice.
Yeah.
So he was petulant when his coaches told him what to do, let alone a former player and a media guy.
I was saying you're questioning Connor. That's what I'm not questioning Connor. I'm not. I feel he knows more than I do.
Would you have shot that puck, Brownie?
100% I would have shot
there
that
it is.
puck.
That's
Yes,
what I'm
I
saying.
would have.
And
I would have, but I'm not Connor McDavid.
Right.
I'm just Rob Brown.
Right.
There's a bit of a drop.
I think the problem is that it worked out, and it hasn't always worked out. And I think that's where the conversation goes a little sideways.
He's got 23 points in 23 assists his last 10 games. It's working pretty good.
Right.
It's a great debate. I love it. And Brownie, it'll be interesting. So is there a point that you'll kind of, if there's criticism to be had on McDavid, should we just leave you out of it?
You're criticizing a guy that it's not like he's got
criticism
in the last
analysis.
But analysis, you said criticizing. It's in the last 10 game. If he had 3 points and he's turning those down, okay, you know what? Shoot the puck. He's making plays. Yeah. He's making plays every game. He's on a heater right now. Mm-hmm. I trust Connor McDavid when he has the puck on his stick in the offensive zone that he knows better than I do what he should do with it.
Well, that's why you're here on the pod, Brownie, to offer that high-end, high-maintenance offensive perspective, because it was definitely lacking before. Thanks, buddy.
It's been an absolute pleasure. I can't wait to see you guys again.
Go slip into your McDavid pajamas. Good night.
Well, I wear my number 97s tonight.
Right. See you, bud. Struddy and I will take a lap when we come back. Long Shots Golf is the destination for both golf enthusiasts and sports fans. Top-of-the-line TrackMan simulators provide a highly entertaining and accurate golf experience, while a full-service sports bar loaded with big screens and scratch kitchen make it a truly unique destination. They have locations in Sherwood Park and Edmonton. Experience the best indoor golf and sports bar in town. Visit longshots.ca. That's longshots with a Z.ca.
Time to talk about your mortgage? It doesn't have to be a daunting conversation. With over 16 years in the industry, Maria Gallus, with Maximum Mortgages, knows how to make it easy. With access to dozens of different lenders, let Maria customize the perfect solution for you. Whether you're purchasing, refinancing, or renewing, or a first-time buyer, Maria's simplistic approach and expert advice will have you feeling confident you're in great hands, making informed decisions. Take the stress out of your mortgage journey. Contact Maria Gallus at mortgagesbymaria.ca. That's mortgagesbymaria.ca.
Time now for Struddy and I to take a lap. Brought to you by Backscape. Bid farewell to unwanted back hair solo in just 5 minutes with the fastest growing male grooming tool on the planet. They have a water-resistant, rechargeable, long handle. Lets you shave independently in any direction with no cuts, scrapes, bumps, or mess. Visit Backscape.com. That's BAKscape.com and choose from a variety of packages delivered right to your door. Backscape, stay smooth. Gentlemen, we see Brownie and his triceps demonstrating how you use this fantastic product. Struddy, where are we going, bud?
Well, the Avalanche continue to kind of get some good news, both for the team and for the individual players. We already talked about Landeskog the other day skating with the team and really not come back for the playoffs. And then a player, Valeri Nichushkin, who entered the Players Assistance Program to work on himself. Today was the next step in his, I don't know if it's recovery or just kind of his program, is he's practicing with the team. So he's now practicing with the team. There's no timeline set for his when he's able to enter games, but you know he's a big part of what they're trying to do. He's a big body. He's had a lot of success there. Signed the big deal. So he's, you know, I'm guessing at some point we'll see him in games. If they get those two big bodies back in time for the playoffs, that's positive for the team. But that both guys are having some individual success on working on themselves. One getting healthy, well, I guess both getting healthy. I think that's really positive for them. So it's a good story for those guys, but also I think it's a notable story and a big story for the league because Nichushkin was a monster for them in the playoff run.
Oh man, was he ever? Well, that 21-22. In their 20 playoff games, 9 goals and 15 points. That was talk about a coming out party for him. You know, just a guy that's, pretty high draft pick and took quite a while for him really to pan out. And then even this year, right, 22 goals in the 40 games that he had played so far, 42 points in the 40 games that he'd played. Yeah. So has an opportunity to be a real big part of things. And it's an ad, right? The Avalanche, there's a lot of talk about what they need to add. That's an ad. That's like a trade deadline acquisition for them.
Well, him and Landeskog would be huge.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be huge. And especially if they're both healthy and feeling good about themselves, like that's pretty nice 2 pieces to add.
Yeah.
Talking about ads, let's go to Dallas Stars. Logan Stanghoven, former member of the Kamloops Blazers and obviously the World Junior, and a player that I've kind of watched, obviously because of the Kamloops ties. He scored his first NHL goal tonight. He was called up just recently. But when I go over the timesheets, what blows me away is he played 15 minutes. So he was playing on line with Jamie Benn and Wyatt Johnson, and obviously Stankoven's on the other side. Those are 2 nice players to drop in beside a wily veteran that a young, talented center. So congrats to him, but it's, to add a guy like that and get him into that spot, which I think is their third line. That's pretty decent for a young player to play 15 minutes with almost little to none or no power play or penalty kill time.
Yeah, he's played 2 games and has a couple of points in those games, right? Not a huge guy, 5'8",
and that's generous.
Yeah,
I think that's 5'8" standing on a stack of toonies. Like I don't think he's that tall, but you know what? He brings energy. He plays. He can make plays. Watch him in the World Juniors. And obviously at in camps, he makes plays. He's got a really high engine, and he drives the pace of play. So I think that he was a nice ad for that team, and whether he's there all year, I don't know, but good returns early.
Dallas is a tough lineup to crack too. Like they're a legit Stanley Cup contender, man. That is a good team, and I think they have a lot of belief in themselves. I think they're going to act like a cup contender at deadline time. For him to be able to crack that lineup and make a dent in it, it's pretty impressive for a guy of his size. But he's had a hell of a year in the American League too, right? 57 points in his first 47 games in the American Hockey League. That is hard to do as a smaller, younger player.
And the pace, he plays with pace. And I like another, not maybe not the best comparison, but Niels Holtlander in Vancouver. He plays with that pace, right? He's just going, he's coming at you all the time. And I think that'd be a great guy to play with if I was on a line, because I want that guy to just kind of push the pace and make our line seem a lot quicker than maybe it is.
All right, that was Taking a Lap, brought to you by Backscape. Running a little long tonight because of our technical difficulties. So another quick commercial break, and then Ask Us Anything when we come back. For over 60 years, Belvedere Golf and Country Club has been delivering a high-quality golf experience to Edmonton and area. This beautiful private club, located on Highway 21 just south of Sherwood Park, occupies 160 acres and presents a challenging yet adventurous 18-hole design. A beautiful clubhouse, fully stocked pro shop, and warm, friendly staff truly make it feel like you belong to something unique and special. Visit www.belvederegcc.com. Time now for Ask Us Anything, where we get you involved here on the YouTube live stream. It's brought to you by Match Eatery and Public House. Happy hours better at Match Pub Ice District. Score 20% off Appies, half-price wine and other drink specials every day from 2 to 4 p.m. Located adjacent to Rogers Place in the Grand Villa Casino. And for more information, check out matchpub.com as we bring in Zuby, who has had a stressful night. How are we doing, Zoobs? You got everything under control, buddy?
Just fine. That kind of thing might have really rattled me in the early days, but it does happen. You're sometimes a slave to the internet in more ways than one, and you just gotta keep even keel and get it back up and running. And tons of people stuck around. So
I remember back in season 1, Struds, I was on the road and we did a podcast with me on the road. And this is back before we were going live. Zuby called me 10 minutes after we finished. He's like, it's gone. It's all gone. The whole thing is just gone. He thought he lost an entire podcast.
Oh, boy.
And he was like apoplectic. He was beside himself, losing his marbles. And I was like, Zoobs, it's good, man. It's just a pod. Like, that's the beauty of this thing, man. If it explodes and nobody gets it and it goes into thin air, doesn't matter. So I think we've sort of realized that, right, Zoobs? Doesn't matter.
I mean, certainly in the big picture, it does not matter. It matters differently. Now we have sponsors, we have loyal viewers, we have all these other things that we
supposed to be more legit now. All right, let's get going. What are people saying, buddy?
That was a Zoom one, by the way, too. Yeah, I remember that, and I did find it. I fixed it. Let's go on Connor. Lots of good comments on Connor. Stuff we didn't get to. Chris R says, on the goalless drought, how many games until it isn't funny anymore? Or will that not matter as long as he gets 2 assists per game?
He's getting points, and Brownie's right. And it is hard to criticize a guy like that, but I just feel that you work so hard to get into that shooting area. Because Hyman doesn't score in that, this conversation is probably different, because we've seen him and Leon both do it at different times. A shooting area pass to someone who's not in the shooting area, and I think you got to fire those pucks at the net. But I don't know that it really ever, as far as Connor and scoring, I don't think it really ever, I wouldn't worry about it. I'm not.
Well, results matter, right, Struddy? So let's say McDavid goes another 7 games without a goal, but he gets 17 assists and the Oilers win 5 of them. It's going to be notable. It'll be like, man, what's going on with McDavid and his goal scoring? Hey, but look at all those assists. Now, if they played 7 games and they lose 5 of them and McDavid has 4 assists or 5 assists, then all of a sudden it becomes a bigger focus, right? It's results driven, and he's still playing well. He's still doing things the right way.
But go back and look at the last stretch. They haven't won a ton of games. Would you say that his lack of goal scoring hasn't been the problem with the team? Not at all. I'm looking at the penalty kill. I'm looking at defensive structure.
Defending. Yeah.
So I mean, it's
far from the problem.
It is my top 10 list of things to be done.
Continuing on Connor, Omar says, you're much easier to defend if you know he's going to pass. I'm going to dovetail this into something else. He's still obviously the best player in the world and an amazing passer, but I understand the logic of if you think he's definitely going to pass. I understand that. But then Bobo Fett chimes in and says, betcha Connor goes back to sniping shooter guy in the playoffs after showing pass first all regular season, always 2 steps ahead of everyone trying to stop his game. Is what are the chances Connor's playing 4D chess and saving those shots for when he hits playoff time, Shaggy? Or the mentality, saving the shoot first mentality.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, he's also the kind of guy that he's going to feed Hyman when he can, right? Like let's get him to 50 for sure. But I think he's just trying to win games. I think he's trying to make the best play that he thinks is the best play in that moment, and it's reflective of the headspace that he's been in all year. His decision with the puck is reflective of the headspace that he's in. Last year's decision of the puck was reflective of that headspace, and that was more thinking goals. So if he gets to the playoffs and decides he wants to do it, then he'll do it. Struds, I get the feeling sometimes McDavid just tries stuff because he's like, I wonder if I can do that. Like last year, he was like, let's see how many goals we could score. This year, he's like, I think there's something to the idea of, let's see how many assists we can get.
Yeah, I think so, but I also think he figures I think he's about winning. So I don't think he does it just to get into record books.
For sure.
He thinks, what do I need to do to help this team win, or for my team to win?
Yeah, Zuby, I'm going to pull one off the stream here because I love how Colin Williams is just laying himself out there to be bludgeoned.
Sure.
So Colin Williams says, I'm going to get dissed so hard, but I need to talk about how Connor Brown is still a good pickup for the Oilers. The guy cannot finish worth a penny, but he makes plays and wins battles. Play with RNH, he says. Struddy?
I like Connor Brown still as a player. The problem is I don't like him at the number he's at. And that's going to really hurt the team next year. My God, if he was at $1.5 million, I think it's a whole different conversation. But with the number he's at, just under 4, that's a really tough one to swallow. Really tough one to swallow. So, like today was a nice play. I still think if he gets one goal, it hopefully unlocks something for him. But he does a good job on the penalty kill. I'd like to see him be a little bit more physical or not a little bit more, just be physical on the forecheck. Lay a few more guys out. But yeah, I can't agree with that because of the dollar figure.
Okay, doubling back to something more big picture on Connor, stat guy Steve Taylor chimed in and said, Connor's at 941 career points with 26 games remaining this season. Does he break 1,000 this season? Needs to average 2.27 points per game the rest of the way, which is not at all out of reach for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's always good in the second half. What's the numbers? What does he got to do?
Yeah,
he's got to get, it looks like 59 points in 26 games.
I mean,
2.27 points per game.
I'm not going to count him out. I'll probably say no, that he comes up just a little bit short. What do you think, Struds?
I don't know. I remember I counted him out getting 100 in that shortened season, and he got it. I don't know. I don't think I want to bet against this guy. And I think it's like a carrot, right? When he sees it, he's like, I'm just going to go get it.
Yeah.
Does he have another 6-point night in him? Does he have another 6?
Yes.
You need a couple. You need a couple like that. Now he can average 3 every. I get that, but it's kind of a hard thing to do. So you need a couple that are really high end. So I mean, if he gets, that'd be crazy. Maybe. I'd say yes. Sure.
Wow, look at you! A late night bold call by Struts.
Yeah,
he's just trying to get
2 more. 2 more, buddy. We got to get us all to bed.
Back to Connor Brown. ADN says, I think Brown gets a shift every time the Oilers are playing against an empty net, and I truly believe Brown doesn't want his first goal to be an empty netter because he always passes. Is there an element to that, or is it like, no way, I want to pop one no matter what, I want this over?
I'm going to say no, Struts. There are no honor among goalless guys 50-some games into a season.
When you're thirsty in the desert, you'll drink anything. So I like today. I wish that he would have taken. There's a shot. He was on the same side as the red line. Like it would have been icing. Just take the shot, man.
Just
like, honestly, like McLeod iced it for no reason. No reason I could see. And didn't even try to hit the net. So why not just take that shot? And no one on the bench is going to get upset. Take it.
And speaking of McLeod, wasn't McLeod's first or second goal an empty netter, and that unlocked something for him for a little bit there, right? Isn't that kind of what happened with him out in New Jersey or something?
I think you're right. Yeah, and it's just, I just, you know what I think? I think I want Connor Brown to score because I think he could be a found piece of gold in your own lineup, and because I think there's more there offensively than he's shown because he's done it in the past.
So he could be a deadline acquisition if he scores a goal and sorts it out, and all of a sudden they've got this element they haven't had all year. And
like if he can score 5 goals, I know it's a lot in the last 26 games. Like that would be huge because now you're like, okay, this guy's maybe spread that over a season. That's 15 goals. It's another Fogle in the lineup.
One more, Zoobs.
Okay, two ones. Just a quick chirp. I forgot about this. CK Pond said maybe the team needs to have another lackluster practice if it means some wins. Hey Ryan, that was from CK Pond.
I wanted to ask you what you thought of that, Struds. Like I've been covering this team for like 24 years.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever reported once or sent a single tweet about morning skate. That's how bad it was today, Struds. I'm not lying, man. I can't even describe to you. The assistant coaches were losing it trying to get guys going. Yeah. I was sitting there watching and I'm like, I can't leave this alone. I can't. This is too, I'm going to have to say something. And I asked Chris about it. He didn't say that I was wrong. He just said, day off yesterday, maybe a little sluggish getting going. What do you think? Reporter making something out of nothing?
No, I do. I always felt it was nice to have a good morning skate. I didn't want to have I didn't want to blow my load and be amazing, but like just crisp, puck on this tape, all that kind of stuff. Like I wanted to see that, but you didn't want to.
It was not.
Yeah. And so, but there's some days it just doesn't work. I remember we had some terrible morning skates and it's just not working. So then it kind of energizes you for the game. Like, okay, I got to be better for the game.
I'm mad at myself. I wanted to ask Brownie what he thought of that today because I have a feeling Brownie would have gone snap show on me over that. Yeah. What are you talking about? I feel like he laissez-faired his way through a few morning skates.
Okay, last one because I'm going to feed Struddy a softball here for him to go out on a high note. The Dr. Carpy says second power play actually had some shots. I noticed certainly that Evander Kane takes that high wrister from the slot. And that's a great shot. He's scored on that a lot, not on the power play. And then someone else chimed in and said, I feel like the second power play unit could turn out to be a big factor in the Oilers' success going forward. What do you think of that, Struddy?
Well, I mean, the power play is at is fourth overall, isn't it? Or top 5. I mean, it's already in pretty good shape. So how much better do you want it to get? But I think that passing some of those minutes off to the other guys, especially when games are out of hand, I think that's important. But also for them to get their cookies and feel good about themselves. So there haven't been a ton of games recently where they've been blowing the other team away. But if they do, or if they were, I would be rolling that guy, the second unit out first to let them get their cookies and get some points.
All right, great stuff. That was Ask Us Anything, brought to you by Match Eatery and Public House. Big thanks to all of you for your contributions on the stream. Time now for our gem of the day or the night. Struds?
I'm going with Connor McDavid's comment from this morning where he said that he's trying to become more assists and not trying to score goals. I thought that for him, I loved that he was lighting the mood in a pretty tense time of the year.
Yeah, definitely. He was jovial and joking about it. Rather than getting defensive, right? A couple of years ago, he might not have loved that line of questioning. Might have gone a little Rob Brown on us. Like, who do you think you are questioning me about the way I'm going to do that? But he didn't. He didn't pull a Brownie. Give us a good answer. Good job tonight, Struds. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for your patience on the stream. I know we had some technical issues. By the way, just want to mention quickly, didn't do a hat giveaway tonight. We are going to try doing some hats for sale. So go to the website, gybpod.com. And if you click on GYB merch and you scroll down, you're going to see some of the hats that we have available. Now, please bear with us. Our system isn't fully up and running yet, so it might take a little bit of time. But you can send us a note with the hat that you want, and we'll get payment and everything squared away. We've had a lot of demand for it, but remember, we're not fully up and running, so be patient with us, and we'll try and get these rolling. But as of right now, you can try and order one online, and hopefully we'll get it to you within a couple of weeks. Have a great night, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in here on Got Your Back this late night that we got to spend with you. And a big thanks, as always, to our title sponsor, Sherwood Buick GMC. See you, Struds.
Guys.